So I've just written the comment for February, and I want to pick up on a theme that I've dealt with a few times in the past, and that theme really related to energy, but I've broadened it to include, for example, the bigger environmental issues that we face. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is that I recently had the pleasure, I suppose, of driving through the Free State, and I've never seen the place as dry as I saw it now. And of course, what that brings to the fore is a fundamental realization that you can say what you like about global warming, but climate change is the reality of the planet. And it's one of those things that whether we like it or not, we have to accept a responsibility for, in one way or another, influencing. In my comment, I talk about what the relative proportion of that may be, but the bottom line is we hold a responsibility for the planet. And that drew my mind, of course, to our industry. Two things about our industry. The first one is industry in South Africa has tended to imagine that energy and, frankly, water are commodities that you pay for and you use. And in a way, that makes perfect sense. But what we probably need to do is think about them differently. If we start to think about energy and water as a fundamental resource, my suspicion is that we'll begin to deal with them in a different kind of a way. And I think that's a very positive thing to think about. That's the one issue. The second issue is the profound realization that environmental impact is something that we need to take responsibility for. And when I say take responsibility, I don't imagine it's something where we look to the regulation and say, well, the rule says this, that, or the next thing. I'm certainly aware of, and I'm sure many of you are aware of too, companies who, given certain circumstances, will say, well, I'll have to pay the fine for doing that, but I'm doing it. As opposed to stepping back and saying, why should we not do something, or why should we do something? And that starts to translate the way we think about our industry into one of responsibility as opposed to one that's merely regulated.